You cried at your father's funeral is probably not someone you want to be married to.
Exactly, man. I'm like, come on now. Simple.
Any woman who would judge you negatively because you cried at your child's funeral, which was his first example.
And she clearly not the one for you. She clearly ain't the one to be with.
Probably not someone you want to be with.
Exactly. And we got Alvin Preaching. This is, I won't cry for my kids, but I'll cry for, okay. That's why I saw the thumbnail and like, let's check this out. Let's hear their perspective on what's going on. I don't know.
And it did make me chuckle. I saw this clip going viral, and it did make me chuckle. It involves Officer Tatum and his opinions on men crying. Let me make sure I know exact. 2 years ago about men crying, he said some interesting things. So why don't we just take a look at that together?
I would say that a lot of women are going to lose attraction for you if you cry in front of them. Weak men are viewed as unattractive. And you can make the argument that crying can be viewed as a weakness.
I think that men should not show all of their emotions to women, because women judge men very harshly on that. I would never cry in front of my wife.
Really?
I just wouldn't.
What if your kid died?
That's a different thing. I mean, I would try to.
It's just a plain yes or no, man. You still wouldn't cry, bro. That's wild.
Try not to cry in front of my wife if my kid died. I'm her foundation. I'm her strong point. I cry on my own, but if everything is going south, I want my wife to know I'm strong in that situation. I heard a guy say this, is that when my father passes away, which everybody's parent is going to pass away, I'm not going to cry at his funeral.
Bro, I mean, you are entitled, but I mean, he's entitled. But if I'm going through that in my mind, bro, these tears are finna do work.
I don't want to cry in his funeral. I want my father to know that I'm strong enough to stand.
I'm pretty sure your father went, man, it's okay to cry. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to, you know what I'm saying?
Up and have this conversation. I've compartmentalized what has happened.
I'm very angry because you don't get your lick back.
This man crying now. Crazy. The views, damn.
This is a sickness.
For me, you suffer. I think you suffer in silence. That's what I think.
Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I thought it was meme music at first. I didn't realize it was put up by the Daily Derek. I know what that is, but
you say you had men cry in front of you. That's why you're not with
Sometimes I look up videos of army dads coming home and surprising their kids just because I want to cry, and then I'll watch it and I'll cry. And
I've teared up and cried over stuff like that, but I
not in front of those videos are really
I don't do that
good.
in front of people. Just imagine you going to war. You got the guy on the front line.
It's crazy. You just said you didn't do that. You don't do that in front of people, but you did that in front of over 4 million viewers. It's wow.
He crying.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait a minute, dude. We gonna lose this? Or you like my dude? We would do SWAT hits, and some of the dudes they were tough. They were hard around the edge, man. And you don't see them sweat, and it gives everybody encouragement to be like, man, that's the baddest mother. Then that means I need to be bad.
Yeah, I'm saying bro, now you're crying. But I guess they're gonna say this is an excuse, so we'll let this slide. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's giving gay.
It's my wife's day. I gotta be a wife's daddy.
Yeah.
Kirk, my daddy. Wife's daddy.
Not Steve. No, not Steve. No, Steve. Steve going through the art, bro. He going through the art saga, man. I'll say give him some time. He might come back around, but right now it's funny, Brody.
Wife's daddy.
Oh my God. Nah, come on, Steve. Don't you water up. Don't you water up. Don't you water up now.
You stupid.
Checkmate, motherfucker.
You know what the thing is?
That's wild.
Tough.
I don't mind that he cries for Kirk. That's not what a problem is. Like, you don't feel safe crying in front of your wife. That's probably the only person I feel safe crying about. That's fine. If you don't, that's okay. Your dad would die, and then you're like, nah, not even he needs to know.
That's wild, man.
He needs to know that I was strong.
Hey, listen, some of you brothers are not.
Well, Kirk is saying that you a bitch from heaven.
Hey, listen.
By that logic, that's crazy.
Some of you brothers are not beating the Zaddy Kirk allegations.
They really ain't, buddy.
Why Charlie Kirk is my white daddy? Why you gotta be a white daddy?
I understand what he was saying in the first
that.
clip, where, in this traditional sense, some men feel like they can't afford to be emotional in dark times because the people who lean on them will feel destabilized. Like I've heard that narrative before, and it's not entirely without merit.
You say you had men cry in front of you. That's why you're not with them.
Any woman who would judge you because you cried at your father's funeral is probably not someone you want to be married to.
Exactly, man. I'm like, come on now. Simple.
Any woman who would judge you negatively because you cried at your child's funeral, which was his first example.
And she clearly not the one for you. She clearly ain't the one to be with.
Probably not someone you want to be with.
Exactly.
Oh, I'll never find someone. You're delusional. Okay, the idea that like most women out there are gonna hate on you because you cried at your child's funeral, like
it's
I
crazy.
I think that's pretty stupid, and I think it's without merit. I think it's just like caricature of ladies who like see a man cry and their vaginas dry up like the Sahara Desert. I don't know. I don't believe that. I think if you guys spent time around women enough, I don't think you guys believe it either. I think that's just something they say online to paint the other side as like this. But
my question is, who are these women that you spend your time with? To think like that they're all like that. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe I'm the problem in that thing. Maybe I'm not. I really don't get it. Like, I'm baffled sometimes when I hear you talk about these women that are around you, or it's really just what you see on your algorithm of social media. You need to get out there and touch some grass and see what's out there, because that's not the reality. My God.
Yeah, I think it's okay not to cry. No one's saying you have to perform and start doing things on demand because someone died. It's okay not to. I think it's weird to make a rule and tell yourself in the future how you're gonna react to the most tragic thing in your life.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, bro, if one of my whatchamacallit leave, like, it's times up, bro, I'm manning now. Like, if my dad, bro, this is my dad or my mom, J's on. Get the tears coming down, bro. I'm watering up. I'm making it rain in there.
Eventually, I'm not going to cry at my wife's funeral because my kids might see it. God forbid your kids see that you're sad. God forbid they see you actually destabilized by the loss of your life partner. It's just
crazy.
A lot of it's silly. And I think most kids can agree on this. The few times that I did see my father cry, which is maybe like twice in total, there was not a single moment where I thought more of him after the fact. How many times do you have an experience with someone across from you and your parents?
Yeah, I remember, bro. I remember I seen my dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to talk about my stuff, but I remember we had to go to the front. My dad's mom. Cause you was like, bro, when I saw my dad, I was like, oh man, that hit me right there. I'm like, man, I can't do it now, bro. Like, this is my dad, bro. Like, my dad started here, sit down. I see this, all there. I'm like, I can't even do it. And this the man I look up to. I couldn't even do it, but I was going to do it.
And you maybe never seen them as immigrants, especially. We push that on our kids a lot, right? So you've never seen them, and then one day you see them be emotional. Oh, you're human, right? You lose that veneer of the parent who's this deity or what. No, it's good to see them as humans, because a lot of them are suffering in silence, and it's not good. And then we grow up and we take that shit on. So that's why I don't like what he said before.
I had this moment with my dad, and it was this summer, and we were talking, and we each had like a glass of wine or whatever. But I was like sharing how it is hard being single and 29 and just feeling like you're like old and all this stuff. And yeah. And so
Brian, the guy who runs this podcast, is so corny. I hate that dude. He doesn't even have much in terms of opinion, but dude's so.
Why? Because she said that it was tough to be
29, and he went like, bitch, let me remind you. She was trying to share a vulnerable moment. Dude didn't even hesitate.
And he
Wait,
actually
you started crying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She's crying for no reason. She has nothing to worry about.
He says you have no reason to cry, and he's literally on a podcast where they remind women that they're used goods after. It's a funny logo. But, Tatum's not one of those crazy people who's like, men showing emotion is inherently bad. If you watch the full clip, which, I'll play a little bit more just to give him a shot before everyone shits on him.
So you think if man shows his emotion makes him less man?
No. I just think men shouldn't do it. I don't think it make you less of a man if your emotions, like for instance.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. He's entitled to his opinion, but bro, like I said, if it happened, it happens. If I got some water got to come down, it is what it is.
Something tragic happened, and
judge me cause of me crying, bro. Out of him.
I was in the room with my wife, and it caused me to start crying or something. I'm not gonna be like, throw her out of the room. You gotta leave the room. You can't see me like this. It's just that I know when emotions happen to me, and I refrain from exposing that emotion in front of people.
So there you have it, folks. He's not completely, but I think he forgot how to compartmentalize here.
You don't get your lick back.
But normally he's very good at putting things in a box.
Over 4K lights.
And not crying.
Not crying, but he crying.
Normally.
That's not how emotions work. It's one-dimensional way of seeing emotions. You know what I mean? You don't know how you're gonna act, especially when you grieve. You don't know. Maybe you're not gonna cry now.
Yeah.
And then fucking 6 months later, at the grocery store, boom. Why? Because you picked up your father's favorite cereal, and then
I'm telling you, bro, that type of stuff hit, bro. I remember, like, I was like, where, bro? I was busy, just out and about, and then all of a sudden, I'm just having a flashback about my cousin. Oh, I'm like, man, why now? All of a sudden, my eyes just started watering, like, no, RP to my cousin, bro. I miss her, bro. Oh my god.
Mind you a bunch of stuff, and then boom, you're crying just there.
Facts.
Like it's not like the way
you can't fight that. You can't fight that, Brody.
These people are speaking. They speak sometimes with the confidence of someone that is a professional in that realm, and I'm like, well, have they even experienced life? Yeah, let me just ball it up, and then just you don't know. You just don't know. But the problem is even more than that. Not crying in front of your wife. Not crying in front of your people, or when some of you people are at your dad's funeral, at your father's funeral, but crazy. You cry at Daddy Kirk, at Daddy Kirk's
on the internet,
on the internet too. Over 4 million people, crazy. And then someone probably be like, "Yeah, look at this. Yeah, you better cry. You better cry. You better cry, boy. You better cry. Yeah, cry for them. Yeah, cry for them. What?
Internet while filming,
crazy.
There's something wrong with you. Well, I said that shit before, and I said it again. I'm gonna say it again. Filming yourself while crying is crazy. You wouldn't do it in front of the people that you love, the people that are the closest to you, but
you'll do it. Okay, let me
share it with strangers.
Exactly.
Nah.
Wow.
I can't take that person seriously. I'm sorry.
Can't do it.
I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Nah, that'd be wild. And then you crying, and then cut the camera off. Gotta stop recording. Gotta upload this right here, right now. Let them know my emotion. That's,
you know, if you're being
that
extra
kind of
wild,
wild.
2 years ago, and you know maybe there's the accumulation. I think you know it's like people saying, "Oh, if I get attacked, I'll do this, I'll do that." You don't know what the fuck you're going to do in that situation. You have an idea. You can have like this thought in your head, but once that shit hits you, you can't control it.
Exactly.
Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yep.
And the death of someone close to you is like a punch in the face. I've seen quite a few people around me die, and I don't think it gets easier. The first time it happens, you're just lost. Then the second and third, fourth, fifth time, like at some point you're like, oh, I know what this is, but those emotions are still going to hit you. Exactly. I think as humans, there's an arrogance to ourselves that we think we can control things much more than we can. It's a bit of a delusion. And that delusion is what leads a lot of people to take their own lives. It leads a lot of people to have this PTSD or these issues like depression where they feel like if they just control everything, they're going to, it's like, there's a lot of this stuff that you can't control. And
eventually you're gonna burst out, bro.
Except that the sooner you're going to actually have more of a control over the situation itself. Accepting the reality that you can't control something is actually probably a better position of control than pretending you can and having no grip on it. Why? Because when reality hits you in the face and you have zero control, you have the juxtaposition between your position and what happened. But when a wave of emotion hits me and I'm like having that experience, I'm like, I never had a control to begin with. It's a lot easier to get through it.
A thing that you could do is block it.
Yeah.
Right? That's just a reaction to PTSD, right? Death happened when I was really young. It kept happening, and when you're young and you don't know how to you don't know how to deal with that. What can happen is that you block it, and you block that emotion, or you transfer it into something else. So the sadness you don't feel no more because that hurts so much. So you transfer it into anger. Problem is, it catches back. It catches up. It catches up to you the older you are, and the more that you refrain from expressing those emotions, the worse it's going to be when it's going to catch up to you.
I don't think it's good for your people around you either.
No, it's not good for your people
because
around you.
Because they don't feel safe to also share with you how they're feeling because they don't want to. How many girls do I know who don't want to burden their parents or their family members or even their partners a lot of times with their emotions because of the fact that they grew up in environments where you're just not supposed to. Kids do that with their own parents because their parents are like that. They internalize that and they become like that. So it becomes generational to some degree as well.
Like there's other ways of grieving, but I believe that grief is important. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think that you necessarily need to cry to grieve. But if that comes and you're trying to block it too much, it's not going to be helpful.
I could never imagine loving one of your parents or loving your kids and going through a mourning process without tears. Because like in my experience, the sadness is generally from longing, from the sadness that comes after knowing they're no longer around. And that is overwhelming. So those tears are always a natural reaction to that. Now, some people may be built different. Maybe you cry a lot less than others, but not at all.
I believe that the not at all thing is a possible thing. I think it's possible. Everybody live their griefs differently.
Sure.
So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man. I respect that, man. I had a blast listening to that one right there, but you already know. Legal blind description, all that good stuff. Let's